Two of the most influential people in the world did an interview last night, and lots of people, and even governments, didn't want it to happen. And if you don't believe me, here is proof. Yesterday, a Washington Post reporter literally asked at the White House briefing what they're going to do to stop it.
I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's it's an America issue. What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that?
Holy First Amendment, Batman. Under the guise of misinformation, they wanted to block Trump's free speech on Elon's private platform. Think about that. The broadcast started 30 minutes late due to what we're being told was a hack. Some powers that be, I don't know who, tried to stop it.
My apologies for the late start. We unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers, and saturated all of our data lines. Like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated.
And here's why. 70 million people interacted with that interview in real time last night. As of now, its content has over 2 billion with a B impressions on social media. Trump effectively bypassed the mainstream media that they have historically controlled how and what the audience hears about Trump's policy. Last night, they lost control. The mainstream media spent hours of airtime today and tons of articles trying to discredit it, and even the EU and the UK yesterday threatened legal action if Musk did not censor on his own platform. This is a letter from the EU to Elon Musk saying, quote, that all proportionate and effective mitigation measures are put in place regarding the amplification of harmful content in connection with relevant events, including live streaming, which, if unaddressed, might increase the risk profile of X and generate detrimental effects of civic discourse and public security? What? Elon Musk responded with a hilarious meme, basically giving him the finger. We talked about this yesterday, folks. How the media is driving a narrative that they want America to hear. They cannot have you hearing the truth about Donald Trump, and more importantly, the political evolution of Elon Musk.
You know, so it's not like I'm like some sort of dyed-in-the-wool long-term Republican. I call myself, historically a moderate Democrat, and so this is to people out there who are in the moderate camp to say, I think you should support Donald Trump for president. And I think it's actually a very important junction in the road, and we're in deep trouble if it goes the other way.
Folks, this is what they're trying to hide. Democrats cannot have you seeing any legitimate transition away from their party and their policies. They cannot have you hear an honest conversation about real issues in a relaxed, informal interview. That is why an entire continent tried to block this interview under the threat of legal action. You see what's happening here? Thank God for Elon Musk. In the history of ever, folks, when have the ones withholding information ever been the good guys? Seriously, when have the ones blocking speech ever been the good? Never, never. They've never been the good guys. And that was why Elon also gave an open invite to Kamala Harris for an interview, but she's not going to do it. She doesn't even want to do an interview with a friendly news network, let alone Elon Musk. Because this is the difference between the two candidates. Trump sat down for 2 hours with no script with the smartest man in the world. They didn't agree on everything, but they had a conversation and a free exchange of ideas where the merits of the issues reigned supreme. Not who could yell louder or who could slander the other more. And also, you notice how, and this is my best part, Elon just called him Donald too. Not Mr. President, not Mr. Trump. No one was superior on that call, and it humanized Trump to such a degree I've never seen before. And the left can't have that. They discredited everything, and they discussed all the matters that are pressing on our country today, from cryptocurrency that, by the way, surged 10% in the aftermath of that call. They moved a market. They talked about energy, they talked about the economy, and even AI.
And I know you're a big fan of the AI, and I have to say that AI, and this is shocking to me, but AI requires twice the energy that the country already produces for everything. So you're going to have to build. We're going to have to build a lot of energy if our country will be competitive with China, because that's our primary competitor for this on the AI. You're
Sure.
going to need a lot of
Well, I mean,
electricity. You're going to need tremendous
Yeah.
electricity, like almost double what we produce now for the whole country, if you can believe it.
All in great depth. You think Kamala, or for that matter, anybody else in D.C. can really have those types of in-depth conversations like that? The last time Kamala was heading up a conference on AI, this was her.
AI is kind of a fancy thing. It's, first of all, it's 2 letters. It means artificial intelligence. But ultimately what it is it's about machine learning. And so the machine is taught.
What? Okay. I mean, here's where it got good, too. Trump opened the door for a government efficiency office run by Elon.
I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. And I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love it
if it were formed.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it.
This is what D.C. is super scared about, because they know the federal government and most state governments are just basically employment farms of people, many of which, some are good people, but most are not. Most are not employable anywhere else. The same people who are terrified of Elon Musk and Donald Trump are the same people that are taking the American taxpayer to the cleaners. That is why they tried to stop this collaboration last night, and that is why they're trying to stop a future Trump administration. The deep state is literally fighting for their lives right now, a fight funded by our tax dollars. And what happened yesterday was the tipping of the power structure, folks. The deep state and their media network allies and their multi-billion-dollar industries that stand to lose all their money and all their power if messaging and the venue like last night continue. That's the real victory for America today.